The Tennessee Titans schedule drops on Wednesday, and I want to see Cam Ward against Shedeur Sanders in prime time. I'll break it down on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland, Titans fans. Today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. On today's show, we're going to do a little Tennessee Titans schedule preview. The schedule drops on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to tell you the games that I want to see in prime time. I'm going to tell you the teams that I'd rather play early than late. And we'll talk about how I am begging the football gods for a non-early bye week. Before we get into all of it, though, do want to thank you for making Locked On Titans your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there. Tuning in Monday through Friday. Couldn't do it without you guys. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one again. The schedule is going to drop at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night. I'm going to be going live to break down the big schedule for the Titans, talk about how many games I think they're going to win. We're going to have more schedule reaction to end the week on the next episode, and the Titans have a ton of practices, OTAs, minicamp, all of that coming up here in the next few weeks. You want to make sure that you're locked in with the Locked On Titans podcast. But with that being said, again, let's first go over who the Tennessee Titans opponents are going to be. Remember, this is about when the Tennessee Titans are playing these folks. We know every team that the Titans are going to play this season. They have all three division rivals at home: Jaguars, Colts, Texans. But then at home, they also play the Los Angeles Chargers, the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, the Los Angeles Rams, the New Orleans Saints, and the Seattle Seahawks. On the road, they play the three division rivals, the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Texans. Then they play the Arizona Cardinals, the Denver Broncos, the Cleveland Browns, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Las Vegas Raiders. So those are the Titans' opponents. And again, I want to start with what I would love to see in prime time. Now, the reality of the situation is the Tennessee Titans will probably only get one primetime game, if any, this year. Now, they won in Miami in their last two seasons in prime time, so I think the Titans deserve one primetime game because they've been pretty exciting and won football games the last two primetime games that they've got. But the odds are that the Titans aren't going to get more than one. But hey, a kid can dream. So if I get primetime games for the Titans, the number one game that I have to see is Cam Ward against Shedeur Sanders of the Cleveland Browns. That is prime time material right there. Now, it's Thursday night football prime time material, okay? I admit it. The Titans in Cleveland against the Browns, that is a Thursday night football game if I have ever seen one in my life, but man, it would be great Thursday night football fodder. Like, that is exactly the type of game that gets people to watch Thursday night football. You got Cam Ward, the number one overall pick, the presumed top quarterback in the draft class. And then you got Shedeur Sanders with all of the intrigue around him that we obviously are all aware of. Plus, the Titans and the Browns both aren't super great football teams. So maybe one of them can have a bounce-back season. That would be a good storyline. I would love, and I think it makes sense for the NFL as well, early on in the season, maybe the first 6-7 weeks of the season, a Thursday night football matchup between the Titans and the Browns, and hopefully Shedeur Sanders is starting. If we have to wait till the end of the year, I'm willing to do it. But I want to see Cam Ward against Shedeur Sanders in primetime. Other primetime games, though, that I would like to see, if the Titans play on Sunday night football. Again, the Browns are my Thursday night football match. Jacksonville, if it has to be division. But Sunday night football, it's got to be against the Patriots. At home, New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel's return to the place that fired him with his new franchise quarterback. That is good intrigue. If the Tennessee Titans were going to be on Sunday night football, it would have to be something worthwhile. It would have to be a juicy enough storyline to make the Tennessee Titans interesting to the national market. In New England, the Patriots, one of the biggest franchises in the NFL, Mike Vrabel, their prodigal son, the story of him being fired, what's happened with Rand Carthon since, the whole entire story and picture of it, that is Sunday Night Football material. Now, this would probably be an early to mid-season game. I don't think they're doing Sunday Night Football Titans-Patriots. Well, I don't think they're going to do it, period. But if they were going to do it, it wouldn't be a late-season matchup. So to me, I want to see it. I want Vrabel to come back. I want that revenge storyline, and I want the Titans to put him in the dirt. Okay? That's what I want. So I would love Titans-Patriots Sunday Night Football. Now, I will say this. I do think that Titans-Patriots is actually pretty good. If the Titans get one primetime game, a Thursday night football game, Titans-Patriots doing the Mike Vrabel's return thing, I think that's more likely than it being on Sunday night football. But again, if the Titans got a Sunday night football game, which I don't think they will, but if they did, I think it would be that one. But ultimately, the Patriots game is the one that if I had to guess, if I had to give you a prediction, I think that's the game the Titans will get to play in primetime, if any. But we talked Thursday, we've talked Sunday, Monday Night Football. There's something about the Titans and Rams. There's something about it. Remember 4 years ago when this matchup happened in Los Angeles? It was a Sunday Night Football game, the Titans' best regular season since 2008 or 2009. And they go into Los Angeles, and I admit, this is one of my most off takes when Tyler was wrong. I was like, hey, you're going against the Rams. They ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, though, by the way. You're going against the Rams. You're on the road in Los Angeles. Everybody was banged up. It was crazy. There was a ton of injuries. I remember I said clearly, sit everyone. And then the Titans go in there and dog walk the Rams, and Kevin Byard has an incredible pick six. That's one of the best plays in Tennessee Titans history. Jeffrey Simmons dominates the line of scrimmage all game long with 3 sacks. It was an incredible game. So there's just something about it. When the Titans and the Rams play, magic happens. It's just something about that matchup. So if there's going to be a Monday night football matchup for the Titans, I want it to be the Titans against the Rams in Tennessee. Now, if it needs to be something different, I would want to play Houston on Monday Night Football. The Titans-Houston rivalry, all of that, I think it would be really cool to play Houston on Monday Night Football. But Titans against Browns on Thursday Night Football, Titans against Pats on Sunday Night Football, Titans against Rams on Monday Night Football, I would love to see those matchups. But again, the reality is the Titans aren't getting 3 primetime games, of course. But I don't know, those would be great matchups. Let me know what you guys would like to see in primetime. Tag me on Twitter at TicTacTitans. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know down in the comments. But now we need to talk about games that I'd like to see played early in the year, played late in the year, and who do I want to start with in week 1? Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot, a big-time comeback, or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. I think that I'm going to be betting on some Jalen Brunson over-unders on points. I'm going to be taking him over. I love the Knicks right now to win the championship and the odds that they're getting on FanDuel. You can check it all out on FanDuel right now. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if it wins, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Titans fans, fans, let's continue today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast, doing a little schedule preview episode, talking about my wish list for the Titans schedule. We talked about what games I would like to see in prime time. We went over the Tennessee Titans opponents. Now I want to dive into who I want to open with, who I want to close with, games I want to see early in the schedule, games I want to see late in the schedule, and at the end of the show, I'll give another little Roland's rant about the bye week, which I get mad about every single year. Now, before we dive into the rest of my schedule wish list, I do want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. Remember, I'm going to be going live at 8 o'clock when the schedule drops to go over how many wins I think the Titans get. I'm going to do a ton of schedule content the next day, OTAs, all that stuff coming up, and my Gunnar Helm film video on the Tic Tac Titans YouTube will drop on Wednesday as well with the schedule. So, with that being said, who do I want to open with? What game do I want to play first? Week 1 for the Tennessee Titans. Who am I wanting to match up with? Well, there's a rumor going around right now that the NFL wants to start the season with division games. They want to start seasons with division games and end seasons with division games because it's the rivalries. The games are so important because of division standings and all that. So that's a rumor that I've heard. If that rumor is true, if the NFL does intend to do all division matchups in week 1, I want the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me the Jags, man. That's who I want to take on. Look, couple of different reasons. Number one, Jacksonville has seen a lot of change. Okay, a lot has changed. They got a new coach, new general manager, new offensive system, new defensive system, new stuff. So, admittedly, for an advantage standpoint, I would like to play Jacksonville early on in the season before they kind of figure themselves out. And playing them week 1 with Cam Ward and beating Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville is going to have a bounce-back season this year. I know I'm going to make a lot of people mad when we get into these sort of conversations, but I do think Jacksonville bounces back this year. So going into Jacksonville or having a home game to start, whatever it happens to be, playing Jacksonville early and kind of ruining all the momentum of their offseason. And, everybody's so hot. Just like Titans fans, Jacksonville fans are hype right now. New beginnings, new times. We're going to get this back on track. They're going to bounce back in a big way. That's what they're feeling. To go in week 1 with Cam Ward and be like, you thought, but the Titans got Cam Ward now? Oh, man, and we still have Trevor Lawrence. That's what I want Jacksonville fans to feel. Not just a loss. I want them to lose a little bit of hope. So that's why, if it's division games week 1, I want Jacksonville. But if it's not a division game week 1, I would like to play New Orleans. So the Titans get to play the Saints at home. It's one of their home opponents. And if you remember a couple of years ago with Ryan Tannehill, Tannehill played terrible in the game. Terrible in that game. I think it was the first game of 2023. The Titans played at New Orleans. Okay? So this time, I would like to see the Titans at home against New Orleans in week 1. And again, at the end of the day, I would like the Titans to have an easy matchup, if possible, out of the gate. Cam Ward is a rookie. Brian Callahan did not have a good year last year. There are a lot of changes on the Titans as well. I would like the Titans to get off on a proper start. They had it lined up last year. Man, just think about how different the season is if the Titans just beat the Bears. If Levis just doesn't absolutely implode against the Bears. Great. Crazy, man. Crazy. But my point is, last year the Titans opened their season against an NFC opponent. If they do that this year, I want it to be New Orleans, not only because they're at home, but because I love the matchup. It's the same thing with the Saints. They're probably going to be starting Tyler Shuck, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener, Aaron Rodgers. Anyways, I've been pushing that on Locked On NFL. Why would you roll with Tyler Shook? I just don't like Tyler Shook as a prospect at all. But anyway, that means I would love to play him in week 1. So if the Titans got brand new coach, brand new defensive coordinator, rookie quarterback on the road, week 1, a lesser rookie quarterback, I'll say, that would be a great matchup for the Titans to start. That would be great. So New Orleans is like number 1 on my list. But in a similar vein, I would go with Seattle. The Seattle Seahawks, the Titans do play the NFC West this year, and the Seattle Seahawks are a team that I think will be better in week 6 than they are in week 1. Again, change of an offensive coordinator, new Sam Darnold offense, Cooper Kupp in there. I think their defense has a ton of talent, but they have a lot of young players as well. So I think Seattle is going to be a much better team halfway through the season and at the end of the season than they are at the beginning of the season. So I would like to knock out an unfamiliar opponent who you don't know all that well. I would like to knock that out early. Who I would like to close with, now again, we do know that the NFL will close with a division opponent. Give me Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is the worst team in the division this year. I don't care who plays quarterback for them. It's a bad quarterback. So if the Titans can end the season at home against Indianapolis and Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, that would be awesome. I just think that's the best outcome. I think Jacksonville is going to be a pretty good team. I think Houston, of course, is going to stay a pretty good team. So give me the easier matchup at the end of the season. I just want to win. I want to get in. But as for the teams, kind of like what we're talking about, teams that I'd like to see the Titans get to play early in the season, the Patriots. A lot of change, a lot of new pieces, rookie left tackle. Titans get to be at home, so you get to have a game early at home that has some emotional stakes to it that may make it bigger than what it actually is in theory. I would like to play that game early in the season. The New Orleans Saints, I already explained why I'd like to see them. The Seattle Seahawks, I already explained why I'd like to see them. And for the same reason that I explained with the Saints and the Seahawks, the Raiders. The Raiders don't have a young quarterback, but they have a new quarterback in Geno Smith. They have a new coach in Pete Carroll with a new offensive coordinator, and they're doing things totally different now. The Raiders are a team that could go on a little end of the season run and get to 7-10 or something like that. That's what I see out of the Raiders. So before they get their bearings about them and figure out who they are and guys get more comfortable in their system, their new stuff, I would like to play them early. You know what I mean? That just seems fair, in my opinion. Now, as for teams that I would like to play late, okay? Now, you never know how things are going to go and how good these teams are ultimately going to be. But I would rather play the Chiefs later. I would rather play the Chiefs later in the season. That would be more ideal for me. Let Cam Ward be at his absolute best. Let him be comfortable. Let him know the offense. Let him have a rhythm and a chemistry with the rest of his teammates. Let Brian Callahan adapt exactly what he wants to do with Cam Ward to what they're going to use going forward. I want to see that process all the way through, and then see them measure themselves against the Kansas City Chiefs and see how bad that it truly is. I can tell you one thing. What I don't want to happen is I don't want the Titans to play the Chiefs in the beginning of the season, get absolutely slaughtered and annihilated and lose confidence. Whoa, we're so far away from the best teams in the NFL. I want to see the Titans, their best version of themselves this year, even though they're not going to be as good as the Chiefs. I want to see the best version of the Titans in 2025 against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't think that's going to happen early in the year. And I feel similarly about some of the other good teams the Titans play, like the 49ers, like the Rams. The Rams are a good one. The 49ers and the Cardinals are two teams that I'd like to play later in the season because I think there's a chance that the Cardinals and the 49ers season is over by the time the Cardinals and 49ers are both teams that could go to the playoffs, yes. You're 100% right. But in that NFC West with those four teams, there are going to be a couple of teams that just aren't as good as we thought they were. Look at San Francisco last year, go 6-11. There are always teams that are lesser than you thought. And I think a team like San Francisco is in a weird spot. And a team like the Cardinals, maybe they don't take that leap. And maybe it ruins their psyche as a team. The 49ers we're a Super Bowl contending team. Man, we're going to have a losing record in back-to-back years. The Cardinals are man, we're taking the leap this year. We were a good, scrappy team last year. We're taking a step up. If they're 4-8 and the Titans get to play them in week 13 or 14 or something, that could just change the tenor of the game than if you play these teams at the beginning of the season when hope springs eternal. So those are the teams I'd like to see late, early, open, and close. Now I got to talk about the bye week. Titans fans, let's cap off today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We've talked about the primetime games that I'd like to see, talk about who I'd like to play in the first week, in the last week, early and late in the season. Now I want to talk about this bye week because the bye week has been making me angry for years and years now with the Tennessee Titans. Had a good bye week a couple of years ago. And since then, it's been downhill. Before I get into it, I do want to thank you again for making Locked On Titans your first listen. For your second listen, you should check out Locked On NFL Scouting. Look, if you want to know about all the other teams in the NFL and who their rookies are and how their rookies fit into their team, there's no better place than Locked On NFL Scouting with Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino. But with that being said, the bye week. Again, the Titans' last two seasons, the bye week was week 5 and week 6. Like last year it was week 5. The year before that, I'm pretty sure it was week 6. I'm tired of it. All right? I'm tired of it. If I have to go to the NFL headquarters and knock on somebody's door, I will do it. But the Tennessee Titans deserve a later bye. Let's play a little game, one of my favorite games. Let's play a game of hype, happy, hate. Hype, happy, hate. Okay? My hate tier for the bye week, if it is in week 5, which I think is the first week that they have bye weeks in the NFL. It might be 4, but I think it's 5. Week 5, week 6, week 7. If it's any of those, 5, 6, 7, I hate it. I hate it. Okay? Absolutely hate it. If it's 8, 9, or 10, I'm happy. I'm happy. Am I elated? Am I hype? No, but I'm happy. And then anything after week 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, any of those, I am hype. Now, why do I want to buy at the end of the season? This is my philosophy. You get a huge break with the offseason. And then you can run off a string of games. Get your bearings about you. Figure out who you are as a team. Establish where you are. All right? And then what I like is a break later in the year. Because guys have played 10, 11 weeks in a row. They're tired. Their bodies are beat. Now you get a bye week. And then you're ready for the home stretch. So if you have the bye week early in the season like the Titans had the last 2 years, week 5, week 6, then you have to play literally, 12, 13 weeks in a row. And think if you were to go to the playoffs. Think if you had a bye week in week 4 or week 5, and then you had to play to the conference championship. I mean, we're talking about 15 straight weeks of playing football. I don't like that. I don't like that for a strong finish. I don't like that for a playoff run. I don't like that at all. And look, I know we could talk about the 2025 Titans and playoff run. What are you talking about? But I'm just saying my general philosophy on the bye week is I always want the bye as late as possible because then I get a break and then I'm ready for the home stretch. Rejuvenated for the home stretch. So I've been angry with the bye week for years now. The NFL owes the Titans a later bye. Again, hate, 5, 6, 7. Happy, 8, 9, 10. Hype, 11, 12, 13, 14. They better get a better bye this week. I'm going to be so mad. Anyways, moving right along. That's kind of my schedule wish list and the things that I want to see and the teams that I want to see where. Ultimately, the Titans just need to be improved. We're going to talk about the schedule tomorrow. We're going to talk about the schedule the next day. I'm excited to see when and where they play, what the flow is to the season, where the bye week is, all this stuff that we've talked about. But like we saw last year, the teams that you think are going to be good and the teams that you think are going to be bad and the teams that are just average, it's never quite what you think it is going into the season. So there could be games where I'm saying, oh, I'd like that as the Seahawks. Let's play the Seahawks early. And then the Seahawks go 11-6. And it's like, oh, well, looking back, that wasn't a great suggestion, So we never really know. The most important thing is that the Titans get better. Because if the Titans get better, no matter how the schedule breaks out, they're going to win more games. That's really what matters, right? So we can talk schedule all we want. At the end of the day, the Titans need to win. Now, I will tell you this. The Titans are middle of the road when it comes to miles traveled. I saw a graphic, and I apologize. I don't remember who it was. Adam Schefter actually retweeted it from ESPN. Adam Schefter tweeted it out. But it was the miles traveled every team will have this season. And the Titans were like 16th with 18,000 miles or something like that. They were middle of the pack. So it's not like the Titans' schedule is going to, require too much travel, miles traveled or anything like that. So the schedule itself with the opponents right now doesn't look easy, but it doesn't look too awfully difficult either. So I think the Titans are in a pretty good place. And again, they just need to play better. But I'm going to be back live Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, when the schedule drops, to go game by game through the schedule, talk about which games I think the Titans will win, which games I think the Titans might lose, general analysis, and we have so much to talk about here over the next 2 days. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. But that's going to do it for me today, folks. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.